Indiana is a little bit of a flashpoint of the entire country because this is one of the most affordable cities. I talk to people every day that couldn't imagine being able to ever afford a house.
First of all, I feel like AI was thrown out there for people to think to exactly do that, to just go and throw in prompts and get answers and use those answers.
Mm,
But then there's a lot of CEOs and business owners creating this huge separation gap.
mm,
And in the fact that they're using AI for structure and how to build a business rather than just using it for, I think I'm kind of trailing back on my answer, but like they're using it just to get answers rather than helping it build and use as an infrastructure tool. And right now, everyone's obsessed with using it as just a way to get answers rather to build things.
yeah.
And there's going to be this huge separation to where I don't feel like, call
Mm.
me a conspiracy theorist. I don't know where where the United States is going to go in the next 10 years.
No, I mean, you hear people, it's not a secret. Like it's been a conversation for decades now, the inequality, right? Or the wealth inequality, the wealth gap, like that gets thrown around all the time. It's already a problem we kind of have. It's very something we hear about all the time in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got especially in the indie market. I almost feel like this is kind of a Indiana is a little bit of a flashpoint of the entire country because this is one of the most affordable cities in the country. So here's what that means to us, like boots on the ground here. It means I talk to people every day that couldn't imagine being able to ever afford a house. Like I'm talking like maybe a dozen people a day that because we work on rentals as well. So we manage over 400 rentals. Like we have tenants coming to us and they're like, yeah, man, like you guys do real estate. We'll hear it like very often. Like, oh, I'd love to own a house someday. It's probably never going to happen. But so like, I'm interested in this rental that you guys have. And so we see this huge population of people that can never afford to buy a house. And then we also like, we work with local investors and then investors from all over the country and all over the world who look at Indiana like, I can't believe properties are that cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, so that is like the wealth gap in a nutshell. You got people that are like, yeah, that $250,000 house, if that's where I lived in Southern California or in New York, like that would be $1 million. Like here's a check. I'm just going to buy that. I'm not even going to use a lender. And then you got people that are like, at today's interest rates, there's no way I could ever afford a $250,000 house. And I think back to AI, I just think like it's not going to close the wealth gap.
No. And
It's probably going to do the opposite.
I also see a big issue in like my generation. What was the biggest struggle for me, at least starting out in real estate, was my generation is very A through Z, how you do something. Like I was taught to go to school, to go to college, to get a degree, to get, to go to work and then save up. You got steps in place, A to Z, what's happening. And I feel like no one really knows the process of buying a house, unlike realtors. I mean, just normal average day people get really confused from it, especially my generation. And my generation does not have a lot of financial education. I mean, I went to school for business management at IU. I took a couple I think it was advisory or management classes. And like those helped tremendously. But it's like, it was 2 classes that flew by in a year.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, most of us are, you know who Caleb Hammer is?
that sounds super.
I consume a lot of his content. He's a YouTuber and he has a podcast called Financial Audit, which is like, he's like a millennial. I think he's close to my age, but he's a guy who got a music degree in college and like saw his life just financially like going into ruin. Like couldn't afford his rent, like maxing out credit cards. And so he got his life together and then decided to like basically start a show. He's like a millennial Dave Ramsey, like
That's cool.
breaking down like but he's different from Dave Ramsey in that like I feel like he gives a lot of actual like very practical advice for like how to. He goes back and forth on actually home ownership, which is.
Well, one thing
But he also, to his point though, not everybody wants to just move to Indiana.
yeah.
So like like if you live in LA or something, like I don't blame you. Like, yeah, I don't think you should be like going being house poor, just putting everything into being able to own a home.
Well, one thing is like for me, learning financial advice, I've learned more talking one-on-one to people sort of like this than watching any YouTube or TikTok. And I mean, I'm chronically on social media. I'm addicted. And I think just because on TikTok I could type in financial advice and see a million videos.
And you get a lot of opposing advice.
Yeah, I don't know which one to trust. And I don't even want to say they're opposing advice. A lot of them are talking straight facts, but straight facts only for what worked for them in their situation at that time in that location. So what I always advise is I have a little army of mortgage lenders, all different ages, backgrounds, that a good majority of them, the reason why they got into mortgage lending was because they were in a financial little mix up.
Yeah.
I don't want to spew their business, but they definitely got into mortgage lending and learning finance just because of the little rut that they were in.
That is so, man, that's true of so many career paths. I've seen that with therapists.
Yeah.
Like people is like, I had some mental stuff, so I went and got a psychology degree.
And those are the best people to talk to because they could put themselves in your shoes.
Yep.
And first, not only do you need to have someone like that, but then you need to go a step above and find someone that's not going to have that ego-driven voice that is so prominent today.
Yeah.
Someone that you can go to and ask the dumbest questions, because I'm not a mortgage lender. No one out there is a mortgage lender, so they should be able to ask a mortgage lender any question and then make them feel safe and secure and whatnot and just give honest advice.
Yeah.
And every mortgage lender does this nowadays where they offer like a 1-year boot camp to where if you're not ready to buy a house, they'll tell you, hey, here are the steps that you could work towards to eventually get it. Yeah. And I tell people, I have a fishing trip that it's in the works. I'm going to the Amazon next year to go fishing. And if I say,
that's awesome.
Hey, Ryan, I'm going to go to the Amazon to go fishing next month, it's not going to happen. But if I make a plan and I had to sit down with AI and it took a couple hours to figure out a trip, just planning money, but figure out, okay, this is how much I need to set aside. This is what I'm going to do, not trying to overcomplicate it. That's how you get something done like that.
Totally.
Most people are like, I could never imagine spending the money to go out there. Even, some of these big, like I got people who never thought about traveling out of this country. Like it's very possible with how much you go out every night. Just save some money and create a game plan. It's the same for buying a house or a car. So just a little bit bigger. But like in today's, I guess, environment, I'm budgeting how I freaking spend my groceries. Why not budget how you're going to save up for a house? Why? I mean, like if you say it out loud, it kind of sounds like a dumb question, right? So that was the whole point of my social media, was to break that barrier of entry and be like, hey, even though they are financial people, they're not some scary old guy at a bank that's going to make you feel stupid. These are people who can actually put themselves in your shoes and answer your questions and at least give you a roadmap. I tell people, I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm like, they'll give you a roadmap just to fix your credit. So even if you're not trying to buy a house, you're just trying to fix your credit and get a car or something, it will at least put you in a good place for the next year financially.
No, I don't feel bad you giving advice like that because I do the same thing with us with realtors, where it's like, use us for our resources, for our knowledge. Like realtors are used to it. I try to keep an attitude of like, I'm going to talk to a lot of people, and I don't care if like less than 10% of them like actually do something on a transaction. Like that's obviously what you hope for. This is and not just for the commission. Like I'm hoping that we I want to help you reach your goal of buying a house. So that if that is really your goal, it's an honor to get to be a part of that process. But it's, like if all I did was just give you some good advice to help you get your life go in the direction you wanted, like that's fine.
It sounds so stupid, but it's almost like you're going back to the basics of just being a person. Just with how AI and how just straight to the point people have gotten. And I mean, yeah, I think that being a person nowadays is more important than ever.
You can check out our full library of episodes wherever you get your podcasts.